Brady. This is going to be exciting.
And we got career starts up. We go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Tonight, in the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series, we're starting off the second half of the season, and we're doing it at our first short track, Richmond Raceway. We've got 100 laps of Goat Locker Racing action here tonight, and it'll all be live on V-Speed as with the rest of the series. I'm Sky Shrek. I'm joined by Dave Regal up here in the booth, and our producer tonight is Michael McCarthy. Dave, tell us about what makes Richmond different from the tracks we've seen so far this season.
Well, you said it first. This is going to be our first short track of the season, 3/4 of a mile around here in, of course, Virginia, which is a different kind of town, so as it is in Richmond. But basically, we're never off of any banking. 14 degrees in the turns, 8 degrees on the front stretch, and just 2 on the back stretch. But basically, these drivers the entire time are going to be leaning through this piece. Now, usually a race lap record, is set by, something in the stock car. But right now, Sam Hornish Jr. still holds the race lap record at 15.93 seconds. These cars currently running about 22. We're going to see some really unique and door-handle to door-handle racing for the next 100 laps.
For sure, Richmond is always a great track to race at, and it's a great track to kick off a bit of a short track stretch in our schedule, as we will take a look at the schedule here in just a second. We started out our season at Daytona before moving through the 1.5 miles. It's Kentucky, Darlington, and Homestead made up the early bit of our schedule. We took an off week for the 4th of July, but we're right back here tonight. Starting off a stretch of 2 short tracks. We'll be at Richmond tonight. We'll be at Bristol next week. Auto Club and Atlanta will round out our season here in the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series. Looking at our points, we're not going to have a graphic to show you, but we can tell you Joseph McWhorter is our points leader with 2 wins this season after taking wins at Kentucky and Homestead. He's holding a pretty comfortable 12-point lead over Barrett Morton in second, who's holding a pretty comfortable 16-point lead over Mark Whitley in third. But from third to 10th, the gap is only 14 points. It separates Mark Whitley, Daniel Parks, Chuck Feltz, Alan Smith, Sean Kaiser, Andy Kurtz, David Calvert, and Brandon Wallace. So those are the drivers you're going to want to watch out for tonight, Dave.
Yeah, and, piggybacking off of what you said a few minutes ago, we are getting into that short track segment of our season this week here at Richmond. Next week, while yours truly is going to be down in the Palmetto State in South Carolina, you guys will be at Bristol. And believe me, my heart is broken knowing that you're going to be at Bristol without me. We go to Auto Club after that, and that's where things get interesting. Auto Club, of course, in its current format, not anywhere else but on iRacing.com, so we get to do another one of those, hey, let's resurrect something that's not, available anymore in the real world, or at least at this moment in the real world. But, overall, I think that what we're seeing right now, especially as Mark Whitley going to sit atop the pile, looks like just a couple of drivers not qualifying yet. We're going to see some fast times at Richmond Raceway tonight, not exactly Edgemont High.
Yeah, you can see 3 tracks there in the schedule that we're doing here in Goat Locker that we can't really do in real life anymore, between Kentucky, Auto Club, and Old Atlanta. I guess you can race Kentucky, but these drivers don't really get a lot of experience at it because it doesn't make its way into the NASCAR official schedules on iRacing anymore, which is part of why that race was so fun. We've got 30 drivers in the field tonight for 100 laps here at Richmond, so it's another full field in the ARCA series, and we're going to have some drivers shaking it up towards the front of the field once we get those qualifying results for you. Race tonight will be 100 laps with a pit road speed of 40 miles an hour. These drivers will have 4 tire sets available, 1 on the car, 3 back in the pits, 2 green-white checkered attempts if we need them, and we are going to have 65% fuel tonight, so a little bit more iRacing fixed setup for our race here tonight. Qualifying is just wrapping up now, and it won't be long before we're able to get the grid for you for our 100 laps of short track action at Richmond. There it is, the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. Gonna go to the 3rd place driver in points. The 74 Mark Whitley will look to put on a show tonight and claw himself closer to the leader. Jacob Ellingson will roll off on his outside in 2nd. It's going to be Kevin Orlando Jr. going from 3rd. Christian Angel has had a good season. He'll roll off from 4th. Brandon Wallace in the 99 goes from P5, with Sean Kaiser in the 88 going from 6th. Logan Sturgeon in the 26 rolls off 7th tonight, with your 2nd place in points, Barrett Morton, starting 8th. Your points leader will go from 9th. That's Joseph McWhorter in the 72. Tyler Justice in the 33 will round out your top 10.
Starting on the inside of row number 6, going to be Eldon Stewart in that Ace machine. He'll be starting in 11th, with Casey Jones to the outside in 12th. Row number 7 going to be Brett Bieber, one half of the Route 73 Mafia. He's going to be in the 808 in 13th, with David Calvert rolling off in 14th. Brock Price and Jamie Libke holding things down in row number 8, while Skylar Daly and Sidarius Deus going to be in row number 9. Rounding out your starting top 20 is James Goshen and our Warrior Spotlight driver, which we'll hear more about later, Alan Smith, in the 00.
Rolling off 21st tonight is going to be Kevin Price in the 80 car. Tyler White goes from 22nd in the 63. 23rd will be Ricky Sisk Jr. in the 12. Colton Sisk, 24th in the 96. Your last 2 qualifiers will be Brian Frauheiger in the 03 from 25th, and Ashton Asaro Nolan from 26th in the 42. 4 drivers have not taken a qualifying time tonight. They are Levi McCarty in the 21, Benjamin Richards in the 56, Joshua Unger in the 51, and Bobby Whitley in the 60. They'll go from the last 4 spots on the grid. And the drivers will start pacing right now as we get ready for 100 laps at Richmond. I gotta ask, Dave, who's your pick tonight?
You know what, I'm telling you right now, this is a rhythm racetrack. I'm expecting to see big things out of Jake Ellingson, but I'm going to stick with my hometown brother from another mother, Brett Bieber, in the 808.
I'm going to maybe cheat a little here. I'm going to take the pole sitter, Mark Whitley. I think he's got a great shot tonight. Starting up front, he rolls off from 3rd in the point standing, so if he wants to get back up there and fight for this championship, he will need a win here tonight, and he'll look to get it at Richmond.
Yeah, me personally, I'm sticking with Brett Bieber, but that's only because we're from that same neighborhood, so I'm all about it. As the iRacing.com pace car going to bring us across the start-finish line. The lights are off. That means we'll be going green flag racing in just a few short seconds. I'll tell you what, man, things are starting to get a little tense here, especially with just so few races left on the schedule.
Oh yeah, it's a short series. We've only got 8 races left to go, or 8 races in total here in this Glove Station ARCA Summer Series. 4 to go to round out our second half of the season, and they're going to be some of the more difficult tracks on the schedule. We go short track racing twice. We go to Old Atlanta, a track that's famously really tough to run at, a super bumpy one as well. You got to watch out for these tracks here in the second half of the schedule, because some of these drivers who've had a great season could have it ruined if they're not careful. It'll be Mark Whitley and Jacob Ellingson on the front row as the pace car pulls in at a 4. We're in the restart zone, and we're green at Richmond.
Mark Whitley with a good jump over the rest of the field. Everybody else, wow, 3 wide as the 72 of, my God, Joseph McWhorter just shot right underneath to get to the 9 of Barrett Morton. Now they're going to go fender to fender. Watch the 99 trying to edge in here on the 88 of Sean Kaiser.
Now the battles for the back battle for second as well, as Ellingson and Orlando go at it for that P2 spot. Ellingson's riding the top while it's Kevin Orlando Jr. down on the bottom. We'll stay side by side, holding tight in this battle off of turn 2 as we got a car in the wall further back. Don't want to hit those walls, especially this early in the race. They can give you some damage here. These two up front keeping it out of the wall. Great side-by-side battle as we take lap 3.
Speaking of side-by-side, the 43 and the 35, that's David Calvert and Brock Price. They were just door handle to door handle as they hauled things down into turn 3 and now, into turn 2 and now down the back chute. They've cooled things off for the time being, but there is no real estate available if you're trying to get any kind of clear space on the racetrack right now. Even deeper in the field, watch Tyler White in the 63. He's trying to slide back, I think, to get out of the way, as he's going to let Ricky Sisk Jr. slide on by as we've got a
caution. Yeah, caution is out for Benjamin Richards. Car is torn up there in an accident. It looked like involving Bobby Whitley and Ashton Asaro Nolan, both in that one as well. At least 2 of those drivers are going to have to use the fast repair because the 56 is totaled. We will get a replay on that here in just a second. It starts kind of on the front straightaway here. Yeah, starts with Ashton Asaro Nolan, the 42, just ahead of this 56 car. And as they come rolling out of turn 4, 42 just gets loose, and there's some contact with Bobby Whitley. It sends that 42 car up the racetrack, and it's a huge, huge hit for that car there of Benjamin Richards.
Yeah, that front nose clip has definitely seen better days. He's definitely going to want to go down and burn that fast repair early. You know, and we talk about this all the time with the fast repairs in this league. And, you know, you run the question of, do I want to stay down there and get this repair done? Or do I want to try to just use that fast repair? On a short track, you don't have a whole lot of time, you know, to try to get any repairs done. You might only get 8 to 12 seconds per lap under caution. So rather than going down several laps, I think you got to hit that fast repair button, get out there.
Richards couldn't even drive it back to the pits. He had the tow, and so that'll definitely be multiple laps down and a fast repair for him. While we've got a second, I want to thank one of our partners here at Goat Locker Racing, that being InVets. InVets is founded by veterans for veterans, and they aid in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They're a veteran nonprofit in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. They're also the title sponsor of the Sunday Truck Series, and they've been a huge supporter of Goat Locker Racing for a long time, so we thank them for all their support of the series here as we take lap 7 under caution at Richmond.
Yeah, 7 laps in the books, just 5 under green. Mark Whitley going to be our leader when we go back to green flag racing. Looks like the only drivers to come down were those involved in this incident. So it's going to be Whitley, Orlando, Ellingson, Rowdy, Kaiser, Wallace, McWhorter, Wilton, Justice, and Stewart. Now I see one of our bigger movies. That's Levi McCarty. He's back at 23rd, up 4. But here in the top 10, Joseph McWhorter has already quietly crept in the 7th position.
Yeah, Levi McCarty is always a driver to watch out for in any series here in Goat Locker Racing. He's not had a great season at all. In fact, he's 34th in points. If he can drive up through the field tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised if he can drive up through the field tonight, he might have something. Some of these guys like Whitley and McWhorter and Morton that have dominated the point standings so far in this Glove Station ARCA Summer Series. It also helps that some of the drivers that we've typically seen run further up towards the front of the field, looking at Chuck Feltz, who's sitting tied for 4th in the point standings right now, aren't in the race here Chuck Phelps is tied with. So there's some spots up for grabs, some points available for some of these drivers who are trying to make a fight for the championship in the second half of the season. Whitley and Orlando Jr. in the front row as we are green out of 4. It's a great jump for Mark Whitley.
Another good start for Whitley as he gets the restart here. Side by side goes the 52 here as he's going to be alongside the 27. Sliding into the line, that's Kevin Orlando Jr. And all of a sudden we have a three-way battle for the lead. Kevin Orlando, Long Island, New York, getting around the 27 of Jake Ellingson now here on lap number 10.
A lot of speed here for Kevin Orlando. Don't think we've seen him in this series so far this season, but he's making a good first impression. Racing well up here in P2 to try to get this lead away from Mark Whitley. Just a little further back for third. You got Jake Ellingson there, Christian Angel behind, and then Joseph up 9-5 in the first 10 laps of this race, trying to get his third win of the season and a back-to-back win because he took it last week at Homestead.
Eldon Stewart back here alongside the 99 of Brandon Wallace. They're duking things out here on lap number 11. Wallace out of Odessa keeping that low line. And here's the thing, at a place like this, if you go at the bottom of that racetrack, you can make really good time, but he's getting tight, which means he's got to back up that entry. He's got to be able to loosen up the front end of that car to rotate through these turns. I think one of the hardest things to do, especially when you're in such a big group like we have tonight, is being able to get into that group. Once you do, you're almost unstoppable. But Casey Jones here in the 34, just in Pennsylvania's Brett Bieber in the 808 Lucky Charms machine.
Doing battle back here. This is around that 15th position here. Got some good battles going all throughout the moment. Looking a little back up the field. We've got side by side for P4, maybe. McWhorter is trying to get this one up the inside. He was trying to do it on the outside for a couple laps, but it wasn't really working. So he's had to switch approaches to get around Christian Angel. And it seems like that bottom line is going to work a lot better for the 72 car because now he's gotten that spot comfortably. And your points leader is going to set his sights on the third place driver, Jake Ellingson.
Christian Angel out of Easley, South Carolina, has to give away that fourth position for the time being to Joseph McWhorter. And, you know, one of the things I think we could agree on here is that McWhorter is the kind of driver where he will wear you out. You know, he may not, you know, blow your doors right off, but he will be back there just making you work your arms, you know, get those elbows up in the air. And eventually, you're going to make a mistake and McWhorter's going to capitalize on it.
He's trying to pounce right now with good speed to the bumper of that 27 car. He's already left Christian Angel in the dust. A lot of pace in that 72 car all season, especially here in the early stages of this race. He's going to try to get a run going to the inside here, but he doesn't have it yet. Might need to try what he did with Angel. Run a little bit higher here so he can get a run to the inside down when he's straight away. Pretty loose out of the corner there, but that does allow him a drop down to the inside. And he'll get Ellingson pretty quickly. Joseph McWhorter on the charge for P3.
Levi McCarty back here in the 21 Wood Brothers Ford Motorcraft machine. He now has worked his way up into 15th position. He's plus 12 on the timing tower, as now he puts David Calvert in the 35 in the crosshairs. He just made it look that easy to get along Jamie Lipke as she has to give away that 15th position. Now the question becomes, does Levi settle in here and just try to run out about the next 40 laps or so before he's got to come in for fuel, or does the Muncie, PA native go after it with everything he's got?
Oh, he's going to go after it. That's what he always does in Hook racing. I expect to see him in the top 10 here before the end of this run. As we mentioned, didn't take a qualifying time. That 21 car started out back in last, but he's got all kinds of speed tonight. He's quickly driven that thing up to 15th. That's David Calvert, Brock Price, Casey Jones. The next cars in front of him as we're side by side for 10th at the moment. You got Tyler Justice holding that spot over Brett Bieber, who's trying to make the move back in 11th.
Yeah, Byron Georgia's Tyler Justice anchoring that top 10 for the time being. You've got to wonder if he's got his eyes set on the 99 or if he's more worried about playing a little defense, and he may have to, as all of a sudden out of nowhere comes Bieber in an 808. Bieber's going to have to look to the inside. If you can get your nose right under that left rear quarter panel of the 33, he can make this pass with, I swear, it's got to be like the ease of WD-40. but he's just got to get his nose clip in there. Looks like he's not going to be able to do it right now, as he may try to make a pass on the high side. Nope, can't poke in there.
I've not seen anyone make a successful pass on the high side yet. It's a very dominant racetrack right now, and now Brett Bieber will have that bottom line. See if he can find his way around Tyler Justice. He will have the runoff on the corners, and Bieber is loose down there on the bottom. That's going to stop him from getting that spot. He has to back out. And on lap 22, oh, he's loose again there. Flipped the apron out of 4. That 808 not driving the way he wants. He's slipping to the back.
Yeah, obviously he thinks that that's that Sherwin-Williams treadplex.
Oh!
He thinks he's got... Oh!
Big wrecks. Yeah, Brian Frauheiger, something went wrong on that 03 car. He was a lap down, he got up into the wall, and then came straight back down into the leaders and wiped out Tyler Justice.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting replay. It looks like it was just a hard left, and it's hard to tell. I mean, he hit the outside wall. You wonder if he broke something when he hit the outside wall, couldn't bring this thing back under control.
Yeah, I'm really not sure there. I'm looking at his wheel inputs, and they were definitely still for a while. I've got to wonder if something just broke on that 03 car, some kind of mechanical issue, wheel problem. That's a really, really weird crash where he just kind of sent it straight into the wall on entry and then came straight back down.
Yeah, I guess we're going to have to find out at some point, but not right now, as Mark Whitley and Christian Angel going to stay out on the racetrack, and we've got wholesale pit stops underway. Sedarius Dias also coming out, but Kevin Orlando just led everybody down pit road. He slides into pit box number 3, and we've got pit stops underway. He's going to get 4 tires and a tank of Go Fast here on the 52. He's going to roll right out and beat everybody off of pit road, and as he beats everyone off, he's going to come out in 6th.
Yeah, you mentioned it, first 5 off pit road, or first 5 cars on the track, all staying out. Mark Whitley, Christian Angel, Sedarius Dias, Tyler White, and Ricky Sisk Jr. will stay out. And then your first 5 off pit road are Kevin Orlando, Joseph McWhorter, Jacob Ellingson, Sean Kaiser, and Barrett Horton. And Ricky Sisk has come down now, so that 12 car will make the move down a lap late and will go to the back of the line. I want to thank another one of our partners here at Goat Locker Racing, that being Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to their students for in-demand careers in a supportive and accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They're one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. They're the title sponsor of the Spring Series, and they've always been a very large partner of Goat Locker Racing. So we thank Lincoln Tech for everything they do. They're sitting on the hood of that 27 car of Jacob Ellingson right now, who is 7th after that pit stop.
You know, we've mentioned Goat Locker Racing several times. Of course, you're watching the Goat Locker Racing Club Station ARCA Series right here on V-Speed. We want to welcome everybody in to, of course, our broadcast booth. Dave Regal and Sky Shrek with you here. And, of course, you know, Michael McCarthy there in the production truck, hitting the 1s and 2s and everything in between. I want to thank everybody for making us a part of your evening. And of course, as I said, we mentioned Goat Locker Racing. We want you folks to think about going over there to goatlockerracing.org/donate. As a contributor to Goat Locker Racing, we make sure that your donation goes directly to supporting our cause of helping military veterans and first responders. And we thank you in advance for your generosity, as everything that GLR does, I mean, it's just, to me, it's addictive. I mean, as we go back, green flag racing, pace car is off, and Mark Whitley jumps again over everybody else on those old tires. Going to have to wonder whether or not he's going to have anybody nipping at his heels in the next couple of laps as those tires come up to 10.
Oh, almost a wreck at the back. Tyler White got way sideways. One of those drivers who stayed out, and he is in immediate trouble in that 63 car. Straight to the rear. He's in the fence back here. It's a little sketchy, but we got another car stopped on the track. Whoa, car stopped high. That is Sedarius Dias. Major issues for the 45. That's another car that stayed out. So those drivers on old tires can't really go any worse for them.
No, definitely can't park there, as Mark Whitley and Christian Angel are the only 2 drivers that didn't come down that have had any success after the restart here. Wilmington, North Carolina's Mark Whitley in the Harpoon Design Jawa.GG 74. He leads the way, but right now the 79 having to hold off Kevin Orlando Jr. As Orlando, he's looking for a way to get around the 79 and watch them go down here, crossing the start-finish line. He looks to the inside to make the pass. He's at the door, at the wheel well. Door bumper clear is the 52.
Yeah, if he's going to make these passes, he's got to make them on the bottom because the top line just does not seem to be working right now. Caution out further back. Ricky Sisk and Colton Sisk are around. We got two separate accidents. Alan Smith is also around with the 35 of David Calvert. That is two unrelated accidents at the same time for a caution.
First, take a look here at the 0-0 of Alan Smith as he rolls it. Oh, catches the wall. We're going to see it right here. It's almost like he just got tight, slid up into the wall. That rear end going to slip all the way around. And that'll be all she wrote as he collects, the 35 of David Calvert on the way across the backstretch.
Yeah, now we're going to try to take a look at the other accident that occurred at the same time. You see him in the background there. Colton Sisk and Ricky Sisk. We're going to find out how this one happened. Looking at that 12 car, this starts a little further up, or actually does start with this 12 car. You'll see it here as it comes out of the corner. This is going to be down into turn 1 that this accident takes place.
Off.
Oh, the 12's already totaled. And then he's going to come up the racetrack. Okay, I saw him come up the racetrack. There he goes. Yeah. And he gets into Colton Sisk. I didn't realize he slammed the wall down the straightaway there as well.
Yeah, then the 12 just finishes themselves off with the T-bone move, and that'll be the end of that one. I want to thank all of our friends here at Jam Printing and Promotions. Of course, they are out of Plainfield, Indiana, and we are local and we are veteran certified, and when we do well, we can do more good in the community. Since forming in 2013, JAM has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, and they provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. JAM is GLR's go-to promotional company, and they sponsor the Pole Award across all of our series in the Goat Locker Racing family. And I'll tell you what, man, just a great group of people over there at Jam Printing and Promotions. And I've checked them out. I'm a fan.
Yeah, if you see any Goat Locker Racing merch on any of our drivers, any of our admins, it's all Jam Printing and Promotions work in action right there. Partnered with them for a while. We got some cool shirts, cool hoodies that some of these drivers rock that were made by them, and they're really nice from what I hear. So after that last caution there, we had a couple cars around. Sorry, Dave, you can go.
No, go ahead. I had nothing exciting to add.
Awesome. All right. Well, after that, we had some father-son violence there with Ricky and Colton. Both of them have stayed on the lead lap along with Alan Smith. Our only cars laps down still are Brian Frauheiger, Benjamin Richards, Darius Dias, and Bobby Whitley. 27th back through 30th. Back up front, same front row. Mark Whitley, Kevin Orlando Jr. on old tires. It's a great jump for Whitley. He's clear off, down into 1. Oh, big loose for Angel. Maybe a bump from behind by McWhorter. They keep it straight, but they're bent out of shape down into 1.
Barrett Morton now looking from behind at the rear bumper of Joseph McWhorter as everybody trying to get themselves single file. 36 laps in the books here. As we work here, watch that. Boy, the 79 trying to get back into line behind or in front of, I'm sorry, that's 27. I can read words. As suddenly we finally get single file. And I think that's a lot of the secret to this racetrack. Work on one driver at a time. You're not going to make, 4 passes in one move. You've got to be able to go one driver at a time. Contact between the 27 and the 79. 27 says, get out of my way, and Christian Angel says, no, you've got to work your way around. As now Christian Angel's rear is under attack from the 72 and the 27.
Man, these cars are so loose out of these corners, especially when you're one of the cars on old tires like Mark Whitley or Christian Angel. It's Kevin Orlando in second, who's on that new rubber right now. And Jake Ellingson is going to try to make the top work. We haven't seen that at all tonight. If you've made a pass, you've done it on the bottom, but Ellingson is trying to find his way around Angel High. And with a big tire advantage, it looks like he'll be able to do it. Jake Ellingson will clear for third, and now Joseph McWhorter, your points leader, looks to get around Christian Angel for fourth.
Hot and heavy battle back here deeper in the field for 16th position. Findlay, Ohio's Kevin Price trying to get around the 34 of Casey Jones. Jones putting up a good fight. Whoa! I just saw the 22 of Skylar Daly out of line. That's out of Walden, Vermont. Daly now having to get back up onto pace, slides behind Josh Unger in the 51.
McWhorter is now trying to find his way around Ellingson for P3. They're side by side in that battle, and there's a little bit of contact off the corner, but McWhorter and Ellingson keep it steady down into 3. McWhorter has that advantage, as you do on the bottom, but Ellingson seems to have found a way to make that top work. And involves a lot of side drafting. He's going to need to get really close to the door of the 72 to try to kill his exit to keep this battle alive. Jake Ellingson might be the only car up here who can work the top, and he is doing it perfectly to try and keep himself ahead of McWhorter. And the 72 is loose off the corner. That gives the 27 an advantage into 1.
Yeah, watch the 72 now having to fight back as they go fender to fender, coming out of turn 2 and down the back chute. Here they are nearly touching wheels going into 3. They're not going to be giving up any real estate to one another. Side by side, they are rolling out of 4, going back to the start-finish line, and the 27 of Jake Ellingson with a little bit of an advantage for the time being over McWhorter as we work here on lap number 44. And I'll tell you what, man, I mean, the way that these guys are driving, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see at least a lead change before the end of this. Mark Whitley is going to have a hard time holding everybody off. He hasn't come down yet. Everybody else came in on lap 24.
Orlando hasn't been able to really pass him. Problems in front of the leader, and that will let Orlando pass him. There was a lap car who had a major issue, and we're side by side for the lead of the race now, as Kevin Orlando has gotten right to the door of Mark Whitley in the 74. Well, Whitley is going to hold him off high, and he will keep that position. That was a close moment between your two leaders and the lap car of Brian Frauheiger.
Yeah, what a terrible moment for that to have happened, as now Mark Whitley gets himself back up here to the lead as the 52 now of Kevin Orlando slides into P2. He qualified on the inside. They're in third position as they're going to be going at it hot and heavy, at least for the next several laps. The interesting thing is Whitley on older tires is able to hold off Orlando. Orlando last came in on lap 24. So he's got just a little over 20 laps on those tires. Whitley, meanwhile, still on those original stickers from down before the drop of the green flag.
As we approach the halfway point, those drivers who stayed out, like Whitley, like Angel, might be a little concerned on fuel here before too long. It should be a one-stop race on the fuel strategy here, but these drivers are going to need to pit at some point, and that strategy is a lot longer, or you're going to have to pit a lot quicker here if you are one of those drivers, and you're going to have to run a lot longer to the end. That's Mark Whitley and Christian Angel, who are currently in that boat. If we stay green for another 10 or 20 laps, we'll see what they do here on that fuel strategy. As we're still side by side for P3, Ellingson has done a great job to hold the order off.
Yeah, Whitley's going to have to start hoping for a caution because, I mean, you know, if he comes in under green, it's all over. He's going to have to give that lead away. As we have now hit the halfway point, 50 laps in the books. When they roll out of turn 4, it's going to be 50 to go right here at Richmond Raceway. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be, and however you may be listening right here on V-Speed. Dave Regal and Sky Shrek with you in the V-Speed broadcast booth. And, of course, Michael McCarthy on the ones and twos and everything in between back in the production truck.
still side by side. Jake Ellingson is not giving this battle up. He wants to keep this spot right now over Joseph McWhorter, and he will continue to do it, making that top line work and holding off your points leader, trying to stop him from getting a third win in 5 races here this season. It's a great drive so far from Jake Ellingson. But out front, the best drive still belongs to Mark Whitley, who's gone pretty much pole to now. I think he's led every lap. I don't think he's gone a lap without leading, and he's still clear out front, 53 to go. If we stay green, that'll change on a pit cycle.
Deep in the field, a battle for 20th position, 19th really, as the 43 of Brock Price tries to fight around Skylar Daly. Finally, Price overtakes Daly. They were just door handle to door handle for about a lap and a half, almost 2 laps. These drivers aren't willing to give up anything. And realistically, at this stage in the season, when every point and every lap counts, that's what you have to do, especially at a place like Richmond. I mean, 3/4 of a mile and not a whole lot of room side to side. You've got to go out there with those hammer and tongs and maybe consider a pitchfork and a torch to go to work on a Sunday.
Some battles trying to brew here a little further back on in the field. 10th through 13th is pretty tight right now. Levi McCarty is in that 10th position, trying to get around Eldon Stewart in that one car, as the 808 of Brett Bieber is back there in P11, and Tyler Justice sits P12 in this battle. McCarty worked his way up from last into the top 10, and he is hounding that one car to try and get this move done, but he hasn't been able to find his way up the inside of that car yet, and he's still stuck back there in P10 at the moment.
Whitley, Orlando, McWhorter, Ellingson, Angel, Morton, Kaiser, Wallace, Stewart, and McCarty. That's your top 10 as they go here. McCarty out of Muncie, Pennsylvania, holding things down, looking to get deeper into the top 10 as he now looks to the low side of the one. That's Eldon Stewart. Now he goes back in line, so a couple of Pennsylvania boys getting ready to attack the one. Oh! Contact between the 808 and the 21. It doesn't affect anything, but my goodness, that could have just taken out 4 race cars at the same time.
Yeah, close moment there between those two. Luckily, everybody keeps it straight and keeps it going in this battle. Back up front, you're looking at a battle between Barrett Morton and Sean Kaiser. Brandon Wallace continues to try to hold off that one car of Eldon Stewart for P9. And we're back. Whoa, almost a moment there. Levi McCarty nearly clipped that lap car of Colton Sisk going around, and that'll open him up to threat from Brett Bieber in the 808 and Tyler Justice in the 33. And now we're side by side for second as McWhorter has found his way around Ellingson. He's now challenging Orlando Jr., who has burnt up the rubber on that 52 car. McWhorter trying to pounce and get up to Mark Whitley.
You can tell that the right rear on that 52 is cooked all the way off. It's nearly liquefied. He gets a run here down the backstretch and into turn 3, but he is going to have to all but beat the window netting off the 72 to get him away. The 72 has the advantage. He's going to be able to wrap the bottom of that racetrack for the time being as these two drivers are duking it out left and right here. Joseph McWhorter gets around Kevin Orlando and now gains his 7th position of the evening.
Let's see if he can get up here and win a third of 5 races this season. McWhorter has been so fast at the 1.5 miles. Winner at Homestead, but Richmond is a very different type of racetrack, and this would be a real statement win for him if he could get it done. It would put him a little bit close to untouchable in the point standings, taking his 12-point lead over Barrett Morton, pushing it up closer to 20. McWhorter has been absolutely dominant so far this year, and he will try to get another tonight. Mark Whitley and McWhorter should still both have to pit. Whitley sooner rather than later, as he's 63 laps now on this tank of gas. Coming down to the end of the race, it'll be about 85 for the 72. Should be pit stops for everybody. It's just different timings and how they'll play out. Whitley could get a bit of a natural undercut here on McWhorter if that's what he desires. But the tire fall off hasn't been too drastic, only about 0.8 of a second. So if you are one of these cars like McWhorter, maybe a splash and go could work. Just run it till the fuel window's empty.
Yeah, 64 laps in the books. I mean, really, you don't need that much more as we watch this battle for position here. McWhorter just about 1.6 seconds behind Whitley. And I see that kind of starting to grow a little bit here, so that may not be a good idea, or at least not a good thing for the time being. Basically, if anybody's going to put the fear of God into Mark Whitley, it's going to take caution.
Yeah, Whitley has done a great job to manage those tires, 25 laps older than McWhorter and then Orlando Jr., but you really wouldn't know it with how well he has nursed those tires this whole race. The battle is still going back for 11th at the moment. Brett Bieber has gotten clear, that 21 of Levi McCarty, and the door is open for Logan Sturgeon in 26 to try to make his way through as we're 3 wide with some lappers a little further up the racetrack. Close race in between those drivers, but they'll all get it sorted out. That was, it looked like Tyler Justice and Eldon Stewart in that side-by-side battle for 9th, trying to lap the car of Tyler White, who's 1 down and should get the lucky dog. Caution! He will get the lucky dog. We're gonna find out who that was. Mark Whitley, potentially.
It's showing Whitley.
It was Mark Whitley with a lap car of Joshua Unger.
Oh, this is going to taste like dog crap.
Look at the replay here. That is Mark Whitley around from the lead of the race. Off of the nose of the lap car of Joshua Unger.
Oh, that's awful. Ay, he has got to be angrier than a hornet right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure you can really blame Unger there. I think Whitley just thought he was clear of that lap car, maybe came up the racetrack a little too quick. And yeah, just head on into the wall. That'll be major, major damage for that 74 car. He's got a faster pair, as everybody has now come down into the pit lane. We'll see how that works out for him.
The 72 going to beat the 74 off of pit road. It's going to go McWhorter, Orlando, and Whitley as Josh Unger gets the lucky dog and cycles into the race lead. Ay.
No, I don't think he got the lucky dog. He's going to pit now, so he will go a lap down, potentially. I think the caution came out after Whitley had already spun, and that kept him on the lead lap. The lucky dog here should go to the 63 of Tyler White, and he should be able to get his lap back there in 22nd. I want to thank another one of our partners here in the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series. It is none other than Glove Station. At Glove Station, they are committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, Glove Station has got you covered. With the endless amounts of safety products on the market, they want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. And we thank them for their partnership with Goat Locker Racing and for being the title sponsor of the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series. It's going to be Joseph McWhorter trying to win 3 for 5 right now.
Yeah, and McWhorter's got himself in just the perfect position. I mean, you know, we talk about this all the time. Every now and then in some of these leagues that I cover on iRacing.com, you just find that dominant driver. And for this league, it's Joseph McWhorter. He's unstoppable. And he wasn't out here being aggressive. He wasn't out there, you know, really charging through the field. He was taking his time and being almost a brain surgeon, dissecting this race piece by piece.
Pace car will pull off here, and it'll be the same front row for Kevin Orlando. Joseph McWhorter is up here new, though, in second. And he's going to blink out on the restart. That maybe confuses Orlando because he gets a great jump, and Ellingson will pull it through to second as Orlando falls back to third immediately.
You know, one of the most frustrating things in all of the iRacing is the blink, as the 72 basically causes everybody to check up because they don't want to run him over. Now the 27 of Jake Ellingson bringing along Kevin Orlando as they're fighting that for that second position. Now the 52 looks underneath of Ellingson, and all of a sudden it's going to be the Ellingson and Orlando show they're swapping, but they still drag race down the back straight.
And Mark Whitley is looking to pounce behind this battle. Led every lap this race until he got in that accident. And you know he wants to lead the last one to get his first win of the season and try to cut into the points lead that Joseph McWhorter is just going to extend if he can get another win here tonight. Continue to keep himself up there at the front of the standings. The battle for second still rages. Ellingson has been so good at working that high line all night, and Orlando Jr. just doesn't seem to have an answer to get around that 27 car. We're 3/4 of the way through this race now, and McWhorter gets away as Ellingson and Orlando continue to do battle.
Yeah, McWhorter has already scampered out to nearly a full second lead over top of that battle for second position. We can't even say who it's going to be because they are literally wheel to wheel coming out of turn 4 and back to the stripe. As now the 74 of Mark Whitley decides he wants to get in here and see if he can make this a three-way as they haul it down into turns 1 and 2. Wrapping the bottom does the 52 of Kevin Orlando. He is holding that bottom line, but you got to figure that at some point those tires are going to start to give out. He's going to have to back off. Right now, Jake Ellingson with the momentum on the high side. He's in the better position now as he does to slide in front of the 52, and now it goes Ellingson, Orlando, and Whitley as now Whitley works along the high side.
We'll see if Whitley can make that high line work in the same way that Jake Ellingson has. Oh, contact off the corner with Whitley and Orlando. That'll send that Orlando car down to the bottom and give Mark Whitley the spot, but I doubt the 52 is going to be very happy about how that one shook out. 22 to go now, and Joseph McWhorter has opened up a 1.3 second lead as Ellingson, Whitley, and Orlando continue to do battle for P3. This race is not over yet, but McWhorter's got a clear advantage.
McWhorter with the advantage for the time being. 22 laps to go here at the line. It's going to be McWhorter, Ellingson, and Whitley. Another fight starting to break out deeper in the field. Watch the 085 of James Goshen getting around the 26 of Logan Sturgeon. Sturgeon out of Warren, Ohio, holding his own in that Jeff Gordon throwback kind of look here. And whoa, gets loose, crossing the start-finish line. And now the 085 of James Goshen works his way here into 12th position. A pair of Ohioans duking it out.
Battles all around the track as Whitley is now side by side with Ellingson for P2. We'll see if he can get that spot down around the inside into turn 1. Mark Whitley really wants the win of this race, but he needs to get around the high line master, Jake Ellingson, if he's going to get it done. He's got Kevin Orlando lurking right behind him. He's got Christian Angel in this battle as well. Maybe a little bit of contact there from Orlando as he gets right up to the bumper of Ellingson. Lap 82 here, and this battle is undecided, which is the best thing possible for Joseph McWhorter.
McWhorter's watching all of this in the rearview mirror and thinking, you go ahead, you fight it out, I'm going to step away, as now he has increased his gap to 1.94 seconds nearly. Oh! Contact between the 79 and the 52. The 52 off the pace. That's Kevin Orlando dropping like a stone in the river, as now the 808 of Brett Bieber gets on by, and now they make contact as the 52, angry, is going to try to get back around the 808. Contact between the 33 and the 88. My God, everybody's out here like it's the last lap, and they're in bumper cars.
I was going to say the 52 is going to be driving angry for the rest of this race now after getting used up on this run and losing that top 3 position that he's held basically all night. Whitley has cleared Jacob Ellingson, but he needs 1.8, and the 52 is going to go around. Bad to worse for Kevin Orlando Jr.
Oh,
and that gap for McWhorter is going to be eliminated.
Yeah, McWhorter's got to be frustrated with that performance because he had just a commanding lead, and now instead of a 2-second lead, he's got about a 2 microsecond lead. Watch this here as the 808 works just over top of the 52. And then rolling here out of 4 back to the start-finish line. They make contact, and this is where the banging begins. The 52 hauling it into turn 1, almost over-rotates, and they just make contact coming out of 2 and down the backstretch.
Yeah, that can be the hazard with driving angry, as Kevin Orlando was. I mean, that's just a mistake on his part. He came up the track way too hard, put the 808 in the wall, put himself into the nose of the 88. Kind of did that to himself there, and when you're driving upset like that, it just becomes easier to make those mistakes as you're trying to quickly get your way back up front. Pit stop for Mark Whitley.
Well, I guess that's one way of saying you need to go get yourself fixed up before you think you can challenge the great Joseph McWhorter, as you had said, chasing that 3rd out of 5 wins, 3rd out of 5 checkered flags over the last several weeks. 15 laps to go here at Richmond Raceway. Want to make time here to talk about our friends over at Glove Station. Here at Glove Station, we are committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, we've got you covered. With endless amounts of safety products on the market, we want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. And I was on there earlier today, as a matter of fact, Sky, checking out some things for work, and I think we're about to order some chemical gloves from Glove Station, as it is pool season, and apparently you're not supposed to touch pool chemicals with your bare hands.
Yeah, chlorine seems like one of those you would want Glove Station before you touch.
Yeah, that's what I'm told. Apparently you're not supposed to just rub that stuff on your skin.
Well, bad news for me. I've been doing it my whole life. Mark Whitley is going to be 16th here after that pit stop. He was one of 5 cars that came down. Eldon Stewart, Kevin Orlando, Brandon Wallace, and Ricky Sisk all made the move down, along with a couple more cars for the back, actually. Skylar Daly, Jamie Libke, Ashton Asaro, Nolan, Benjamin Richards, Colton Sisk, all in this time as well. And then the lucky dog is going to Tyler White in that 63 car. But back up front, Joseph McWhorter will once again be challenged by Jake Ellingson. McWhorter wants that top lane on this restart. He's taken it again, and he'll try to get clear, but he's got 2nd place in points behind him. That's Barrett Morton in the 9, rolling off from 4th. Christian Angel will go from the bottom in 3rd. 12 to go at the line, and it's anybody's race. Door to door are Ellingson and McWhorter. We enter the restart zone, and McWhorter is off. Green flag's out.
Green flag racing with just 12 laps to go. Joseph McWhorter gets one heck of a jump over the rest of the field. They go right back to battling behind him. Does Christian Angel and Barrett Morton side by side. They can almost waggle each other's fingers at each other through the window net.
Morton trying to make that top lane work in the same way that Ellingson has done for much of the night. As that battle for 3rd continues to rage, Christian Angel now is trying to get clear, and he will. Christian Angel up to 3rd as Mark Whitley tries to dice his way through. You saw him trying to gain spots a little further back in the field on those new tires. Mark Whitley has already fought his way up to P11. We'll see if he can get any further up the field in the closing laps. Major loose off the corner. He's struggling back there in P11.
Just ahead of him now, Logan Sturgeon here in the 26, securing away P10 for the time being, while Brett Bieber looks underneath the 85 and now has to fall back in line. Whitley on the recovery drive seems to be out there, as we were talking earlier, just fighting angry. That's no way to get around this piece, as now he hauls it right underneath the 808 as he now gets himself into 9th position, but I think time is just melting away as McWhorter has set sail away from Jake Ellingson. So there's only one way that Whitley going to be able to close that gap and try to fight for the lead once again.
Yeah, Whitley trying to get in 8th place here around James Goshen, but with 8 to go, it's too little too late. It would take a caution, and there is the caution as I say that.
Oh,
We've got Ashton Asaro Nolan around. I'm not sure if that was the cause of the caution. He might have been off the track. We're going to have to go back and look, but he was stopped on the bottom when that yellow flew. This is not a spin. He's driving with damage, and he misses the pit lane here.
Well, he doesn't really miss it as much as he glances off of those barrels.
I think that might have been what did it.
Well, as soon as he threw it into reverse and backed up to get himself down pit, that'll be trigger the automatic caution from iRacing.
Let's see here. Yeah, that would be what did it, because the caution came out as soon as Colton Sisk went around him on the top line. So even though he was off the racetrack, that'll make the yellow fly, and it'll give everybody one more shot here at Joseph McWhorter on the restart.
You know, you got to figure that Ellingson is going to be trying his heart out just to try to time the restart. But to be on the front row, especially if you're not racing with that third monitor, you know, it's hard to see when that driver on your inside is going to, you know, decide to drop the hammer when you get into the restart zone.
It's always going to be interesting. He's going to need to have a jump here. We'll see if he can get that as the lap car there is Skyler Daly gets back on the lead lap in the 22. He will be our lucky dog, and he will join 21 other cars on the lead lap. David Calvert, Brett Beaver at the back of the line there at the moment, both of them taking pit stops this time to put 4 tires on it. We'll see if that works out for them at all. Of the drivers who came down last time, Mark Whitley is 8th, Kevin Orlando is 10th. They're not going to have a lot of time. How many spots can they gain on this restart? We're going to find out.
Yeah, we're going to have just about 3 laps to go once we go back green flag racing. The iRacing.com pace car lights are on. And, of course, with that Ford Mustang branding on the iRacing.com pace car coming down the backstretch and into turn 3. What do you think's going through these drivers' minds as they get those gloves retightened?
I think they've just got to not make mistakes here. We've seen quite a few drivers make some mistakes here in this race, especially when the pressure is on the most. And I mean, the pressure doesn't really get any greater than going back green with 3 to go. So you have got to be 100% on your marks if you are any of the drivers at the front of this field. If you're Joseph McWhorter, who's chosen the top, who's been the dominant car here for the second half of the race after that issue from Mark Whitley, and who is trying to get his 3rd win in 5 races. If you're Jake Ellingson, having a great race. He's been up here in the top 3 all night, looking to try and make something happen, but he hasn't had anything from McWhorter the last couple times around. If you're Christian Angel or Barrett Morton, cars that have hung out around the top 5, top 10 for most of the night and have came on at the right moment, or even if you're Levi McCarty, back in 6th, up here, highest position he's been all night. Pace car is off, and they're door to door in the restart zone. It's another good jump for McWhorter. He's clear into 1. He'll take Morton with him. And Angel is going to turn Ellingson immediately back up the track. Huge, huge accident. Caution flies. We're going to overtime.
Overtime's an understatement. Right now, you've got about 22 other drivers that are ready to choke somebody after that move.
That was a big accident for a lot of cars there.
Move. You know, I usually don't judge, but that was an irresponsible move by the 79 to sit there and get right on that fender, and he thought he could Dale Earnhardt him, and instead the 27 turns into a spinning, death machine. Thank goodness this is a simulation, because if it wasn't, we'd be watching the coroner's van out there instead of a tow truck.
Bad start for the 27 here. You see, he just doesn't really get going. Angel's trying to get the move down. Probably could have looked a little lower there, but it's 3 to go, and he's trying to do whatever he can to get the spot. And that's just a massive stack up there as Ellingson glances off the wall, goes right back up across the track. Huge hit for Sturgeon, Stewart, Alan Smith. Barely snuck through it. If we can get an onboard from Alan Smith, that would be incredible as you see Logan Sturgeon get wrecked right there. Just a huge pile up there for a lot of these cars. The 43, Brock Price torn up, Brandon Wallace, Jamie Libke, Ricky Sisk. So many cars taking damage. Benjamin Richards, everybody. Here's the 0-0 of Alan Smith, who had a view that will make him need new underpants after this accident. Gonna go on board with him here as this happens right in front of him. And I am not sure how he survived that.
Oh, wow. Don't stain your ride, use Tide. My goodness.
It does not get really any closer than that for that 0-0 car of Alan Smith at the moment. We are going to have a 2-lap shootout here. We've got 2 tries at overtime. If these drivers make it back to the white flag, then we will race to the checkered. If these drivers have a caution before the white flag comes out, we'll re-rack and we'll do it again. We got one more attempt at it if that is the case. We've got 2 tries here, and it'll be a new look front row. Joseph McWhorter, as we've seen for much of the last 40 laps of this race, is holding that lead, but it'll be second place in points. Barrett Morton going from second here. What can he do? Christian Angel, we know he's going to be opportunistic on these restarts. We saw it right there. He's rolling off from third once again, trying to make something happen. Levi McCarty started at the back, has clawed his way up to fourth. It's the highest position he's been all night, and it's at exactly the time that he needs to be there. Can he try to steal something away? Sean Kaiser goes from fifth. He started 6th. He's hung out at the rear end of the top 10. I don't think we've said his name at all, but he's looking to get a top 5 here tonight. Tyler Justice recovers from some accidents in 6th, and it's Mark Whitley in fresh tires in 7th, as Joseph McWhorter and Barrett Morton will take him down to 2 to go, and the green flag is out, and McWhorter gets exactly the jump he needs.
I swear, as the Popsicle 6 go up in the air, with 2 laps to go, it looks like Joseph McWhorter almost cocked and fired a gun to come out of there. 3 wide they go. Watch the 74 of Mark Whitley. He's the meat in that sandwich. The 52 peaks to the inside. They've now gone diamond formation. The 85 shoved out of the way. He's into the fence. Joseph McWhorter crosses the start-finish line. The Popsicle 6 go in the air, go down. The white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers.
McWhorter's got that lead, but the battle's on for second. McCarty and Angel are going to go door-to-door for third here as we're working our way through 3 and 4. Final spot on the podium up for grabs. Joseph McWhorter will come around to get his 3rd win of the season at Richmond. It's Morton and it's Angel on the last lap.
McCarty got loose coming out of turn 4 over top of Christian Angel. Couldn't hold the asphalt underneath him, and that's how Christian Angel finishes in 3rd position. So joining McWhorter on the podium going to be Barrett Morton out of Louisville, Kentucky, and Christian Angel out of Easley, South Carolina. So pretty good mix here in our top 3, but the checkered flag is captured by Joseph McWhorter once again.
Let him burn it down here in celebration.
Hey, he has earned every bit of that.
3 in 5 races, and I think he got a podium in the other 2 as well. Just domination for Joseph McWhorter. And as he continues to burn it down, we're going to take a quick commercial break here on V-Speed. When we'll come back, we'll have results and interviews with your podium. Stay tuned. We are back here from Richmond, and we're going to take a quick look at your results here before we get into interviews with our winners tonight. Our leader, our winner, Joseph McWhorter in the 72, gets his 3rd win in 5 races as Barrett Morton brings it home 2nd and Christian Angel P3. Levi McCarty takes 4th, Tyler Justice 5th, Sean Kaiser 6th, Mark Whitley 7th, Kevin Orlando Jr. 8th, Eldon Stewart 9th, and Brett Bieber P10.
Finishing in 11th is Alan Smith, our Warrior Spotlight Driver of the Month. Kevin Price finishes in 12th with Tyler White in 13th. James Goshen brings it home in 14th with Skylar Daly in 15th. 16th goes to Ricky Sisk Jr. with Brock Price in 17th, while Brandon Wallace, David Calvert, and Logan Sturgeon round out your top 20.
And finishing on back from their 21st tonight is Logan Sturgeon, 22nd, Jamie Libke, Benjamin Richards, 23rd, Joshua Unger, Colton Sisk, top 25. Jacob Ellingson could have had a podium, ends up 26th. Ashton Asaro, Nolan, Brian Frauheiger, Sidarius Dias, and Bobby Whitley also did not finish tonight, 27th through 30th. We're going to call in our race winner here to start for the third time this season. It's Joseph McWhorter. How you doing?
I'm good, sir. How you doing?
Pretty good. 3 wins in 5 races. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels good. We're really hitting our stride right now in this car. It's this thing's really fitting me really good. It's kind of like being back in the old Gym 6 days and having a blast. The racing's been pretty good, and tonight was fun. Kind of screwed up qualifying. Really had to earn it tonight, but pulled it off yet again.
Yeah, tell us about those last 40 laps, because you kind of seemed unstoppable. You're just getting away every time.
Yeah, I got free of Ellingson and the 52 or whoever it was, and was trying to chase down Mark since he was on older tires and we had fresh tires, and I knew green flag stops were coming, so I was trying to get as close to him as possible before the green flag stops, but we were kind of trading lap time, so I wasn't really gaining because I think my tires were dead after battling, for third and second for as long as I did. So when Mark had his accident, it kind of gave us a new play there. Come down, get tires, have a good, execute on pit road, and then all we just had to do was just nail our marks and hope the guys behind us would battle side by side on every one of those restarts and just pull away.
All right, well, you've won the short track this week at Richmond. We got another one coming up next week. Does this give you a little bit more momentum?
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to Bristol. It's going to be kind of hard to beat Mark going to Bristol. I mean, that's kind of like his playground, it seems like. So, if anybody can win there, it's probably going to be him. I think we'll have a good run. Hopefully we have good green flag runs like we did tonight and see how some of the strategy plays out.
All right, anyone you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Want to thank all of our partners here at Go Locker Racing. Want to thank Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. You guys for putting on a broadcast. RedCameraRacing.com. Go check them out for all of your race equipment needs, fire suits, helmets, everybody like that. 29 graphics for awesome paint schemes. Hopefully we'll have the car painted here before too awful long before the season ends. Outlier Speed Co. You get to see them on the hood every week. They've been an awesome partner, really fast setups. Go check them out at the new website, outlierspeedco.com. My girlfriend, happy birthday. It was her birthday today. So, happy birthday to her. Love you. Glad that I could get you a win tonight. My teammates, Christian and Mark, and ready to get into Bristol.
All right, congrats on the win tonight, Joseph McWhorter.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
We're now going to send it down to Dave, who's standing by with our second place finisher tonight, Barrett Morton.
It's
Barrett Morton, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, listen, man, you're not bringing home first place honors to Louisville tonight, but you wind up finishing second on the podium after fighting up from 8th position. How does that feel? At least at a place like this, it's got to be pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I'm ecstatic about it. I honestly didn't think I'd get the podium at all. I just wanted to get a top 5 maybe and get out of here and go to next week because I'm not a fan of this track and you cannot pass here. It was a survival race for us.
Now, are you one of these people? It seems like every time I talk to somebody and they say, "Oh, this isn't my favorite track," or "I'm not a fan of this track," do you put extra practice into a place like this, or do you just, set it, forget it, and pray for the best?
Try to. I feel like practice I wasn't that great, but during the race I kind of, just focused on staying in front of or staying right behind the guys in front of me and kind of learned some things that way. But the track, this latest update, just seems different. I don't know what it is. It just seems different. It was a little bit more enjoyable, but you still can't pass.
Yeah, and one of those things. I'm sure that there's somebody on a forum somewhere that can tell you exactly why it would feel different. But fortunately, a P2 is still a pretty good feeling. Before we cut you loose tonight, who do you need to thank and who helped you get it done on the 9 machine?
Definitely you guys at V Speed, and let's see, all the guys over at Bandits Motorsports, and then Cofield Service and Supply, and all my teammates. And Jake was in chat with us this evening, and I feel bad for him, man. It was always the joke was, when's Jake gonna wreck? When's Jake gonna wreck? And it ended up happening. So, but we're gonna look forward to next week. I'm gonna go put my gloves on from Glove Station and get back to work.
All right, my friend. Well, listen, once again, congratulations on the P2 finish. We will see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Sky, back over to you, where I think you have Christian Angel.
Yeah, Christian, 3rd place tonight. How you doing?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Tell us about those last couple restarts there, because you had some contact with Ellingson and then had to fight McCarty to get your way up to 3rd.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, it was coming. The first restart, I got a jump on him, and I was like, I gave him a break because it's 10 to go. I was going to be able to get around him. And then we came to that second restart, and there's 3 laps to go, and I was thinking in my head, if I get that jump again and he leaves the lane open, I'm going to take it. So, I mean, he left the lane open, and I got my nose in there, and he came down just a little bit when we made contact. It wasn't anything intentional. It just, you get a run like that, 3 laps to go, you got to take what you got to take. You can't just sit back with, 3 laps to go, especially at a short track like Richmond where, it's hard to get positions. So you got to take everything you can get when it's, that short in the race.
All right, 3rd place tonight will help you quite a bit in the point standings because you came in 13th. We got another short track next week. We're going to Bristol. Do you think that'll help you with the momentum at all?
Yeah, I actually love Bristol. I came up on the super late models in iRacing when I first started on the service. And so, it really teaches you a lot about saving the tires and be able to roll through the middle of the turns, especially at short tracks. So short tracks are kind of my bread and butter, I feel like, especially when it comes to, saving your tire and being able to manage it throughout a run. So I'm really excited to go to Bristol, and we'll see what happens there. Hopefully we can carry the momentum and get another podium, maybe a win finally.
All right, anyone you want to thank tonight?
I want to go ahead and thank iRacing. Obviously we can't, none of this would be possible if iRacing wasn't the amazing service they were above the line for sponsoring the league, SimMotion, and obviously I would like to thank Glove Station as well. And shout out to my spotter, Daryl Young. Always does an amazing job helping me, making sure my pit stuff is right, counting me down to the pit box, letting me know about wrecks, cars in front of me, what lap times I'm running compared to the cars around me. Brantley, aka Harpoon Design, who paints my cars and my team owner, does a great job. If you need a car painted, he is the best on the service. Go to harpoondesign.com today and fill out a form, and he'll get you a car painted.
All right, congrats on P3 tonight, Christian Angel.
All right, thank you. Have a nice one, guys.
That'll bring us to the end of our race here at Richmond. Next week, it'll be Bristol. Any final thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, it's Bristol, baby. I mean, listen, we're going to the half-mile Thunder Valley there in Tennessee, and I'm a little jealous. Like I said, maybe I'm going to find a way to see if I can get on the air, but I'm jealous because I love Bristol. I think it's a great racetrack. Really, we're here in the breadbasket of all the stock car racing in America's Southeast.
All right, well, that'll conclude our coverage here of the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series on V-Speed. For Dave, Michael, and myself up here in the booth, for everybody at both V-Speed and Goat Locker Racing, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you can watch next week at Bristol at the same time.